welcome back to the channel. What's been going on then at Throttle and Stone for the last few days? Well, I'll tell you, I've been beset by problems. Beleaguered. Regular viewers will remember that the magnificent beast, our Yamaha XVS 650, recently had a spell in motorcycle hospital. It got sorted out. It cost me £466 for work that I really wish I could do myself. I'll come to that in a bit. I'm just outside of Ambleside now, on the way to Coniston and then onwards toward home. I have just picked up Mr. Suzuki here, our GSX 600F, who's also been in motorcycle hospital. When I came a couple of weeks ago to do an oil change and other bits of maintenance, the bits that I can do, I do myself, I simply could not get the oil drain bolt out. The thread had quite clearly stripped itself. Stupid thread. I simply don't have the tools at home to drill out a bolt myself, certainly not when it's under the sump. So it had to go to the motorcycle shop and get done there. I've just picked it up, £227. That's nearly £700 that I've spent on garage bills in the last 2 weeks. This cannot continue. This must stop. And as if that wasn't enough, on Sunday, when I was between one bit of work in one place and going to another bit of work in another place, I had a 4-hour window. The sun was out, as you can see. Nice weather has returned to Cumbria after a couple of weeks of nothing but rain. I thought I'll head up toward Keswick on the A590. So I did. I got as far as Thirlmere, pulled over at the viewpoint there, came back to the motorcycle, flat battery. Oh my me, I thought to myself, what now? Well, I rolled it down the hill and I was able to bump start it, and I thought, right, since I've got this 4-hour window, I'm going to take the motorcycle home and come back to work in the van. Yes. So I set off to do that. I headed back towards Ambleside, and what happens? I get to a little roundabout just outside of Grasmere, and the bike just cuts out. Dies completely. No hill to bump start it on. The Yamaha XVS is very, very difficult to bump start on the flat, so I didn't even bother. Parked it up conveniently at the side of the road, jumped on the bus into Ambleside to go and do the work I needed to get done. Called up the Murgatroyd. The Murgatroyd came out later in the evening when I'd finished work, and we threw the bike back in the van and took it home. Regular viewers will know that one of my really weak spots when it comes to motorcycle maintenance is that the maintenance of the electrical system and the repair of the electrical system is very much a black art to me. I do not comprehend it. However, I did some study. I thought to myself, I've really got to get over this, you know. Look, I ought to be able to do it. And so I learned quite a few things. I can now tell you what a volt is and what an amp is and what an ohm is. And so I have a basic understanding of the way in which electricity gets from one part of the bike to another. I have a long way to go. I've learnt enough over the last couple of days to be able to check the battery and work out whether or not the battery is getting a charge. It is not. Once it's fully charged up, the battery is reading 12.6 volts, which is apparently healthy. When you crank the bike, when you crank the engine, it goes down to about 10, and then it only comes up to about 12.4, 12.5. It should be more like 14 from what I understand. What that tells me is that the problem is not with the battery, but rather with the charging system. And so I've got more learning to do. I need to be testing the stator, and I need to be testing the rectifier, and if it's neither of those things that are causing the problem, then it's the wiring in between. So I'm on a pretty steep learning curve just now, and this set me thinking. Now, as I said, most of the maintenance jobs that need to be done I can do myself, all other things being equal. I can work on the fuel system, I can do the chain adjustments, I can bleed the brakes, all of these basic things. I can do the valves myself, and I have in the past even completely stripped down a motorcycle and rebuilt it successfully, I might mention. So the mechanical stuff is not beyond me, but I do still have a lot to learn. The electrical stuff, however, is the big downfall. I would sooner avoid big motorcycle garage bills like the ones I've been paying out in the last 2 weeks. And so I am going to attempt, as time goes on, to work out what the problem is with the Yamaha. Well, here we are at Yew Tree Tarn, not too far from Coniston now. A truly wonderful place to sit and do a bit of thinking. Yes. So, the two motorcycles playing up consecutively. No, not consecutively. Simultaneously. That would be bad enough. That's enough to be having on your plate all at one time. But then it got worse. Yeah. On the way back from Ambleside with the motorcycle in the back of the van started playing up. Problems with the gearbox. It wouldn't come out of second gear and it wouldn't go into reverse, and it's just, yeah, that's another big plate of problems that I'll have to deal with later. It could be the clutch cable. I'll be looking at that later in the day. Or it could be the gearbox. If it's the gearbox, that is completely beyond me. Cars, vans, forget about it. So that's going to be another big garage bill if we decide to get that fixed. Well, these things happen. My mission now is to be in a position where I can sort these things out all on my own. Here's how I'm going to do it. I am going to purchase the Haynes tech books. There's one for general mechanical maintenance, and there's another one devoted entirely to the electrical side of the motorcycle. These are books that I am going to approach with the kind of academic discipline that I approached books with when I was doing my degree at university. I'm going to take it that seriously. I'm going to spend money on stuff for the garage. Hand tools I've got plenty of. What I need is a bench that I can get the motorcycle up on, so I can work on it more easily. And I'm just basically going to turn the garage into a motorcycle workshop. That's what's going to happen. Okay, time to get moving again. Stop recording. really is a lovely day here in Cumbria. It's not exactly warm, but then it's not cold either. It's comfortable. Well now, in other news, oh, that Benji mouse. Regular viewers will be aware that I have a son, Benji mouse, who also rides motorcycles, and he has a certain promiscuity about it. He changes motorcycles on a regular basis. He quite recently had a Hayabusa. I think he had that for about 2 months. And then he decided it was too much power, too fast for him. And he swapped it for a Triumph 1200 speed twin, I think. I always get these things wrong. And so last evening we were having a bit of the old WhatsApp textual intercourse, as we do on a regular basis, and he said, completely out of the blue, I never have any idea that these things are about to happen. I generally find out after the fact. He said, do you want to see my new bike? I'm like, oh, here we go again. What's he done now? Well, he's swapped his 1200 speed twin, if that's in fact what it was. I lose track. I think this is bike number 46 now in like 20 years. He's got himself another Triumph. He does like his Triumphs. He's got himself a Triumph 1200 Bobber. I'm not certain what the precise name of the model is, but I've texted him to find out. I mean, it looks very handsome, but I don't know. I've never fancied a bobber myself. On the other hand, there was a time, until quite recently, where I never really fancied a cruiser, and now I swear by them. It certainly is a good looking bike. And I said to him, what have you done that for? And his explanation was, well, he says, much as I loved the last one and the one before, I just found myself going too fast and then getting home and feeling guilty for having ridden so fast. And so apparently the new motorcycle is full of low-end torque and is really, really good at pulling its weight. He says between 30 and 80 miles an hour, which he claims is where he feels happiest. So, fair play to the Benji mouse. Whether or not this motorcycle will have any kind of longevity remains to be seen. Time will tell. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. I'm just going to relax and enjoy a fabulous ride home, and then spend the afternoon working on motorcycles. How delightful. And then I'll be making evening meal for me and the Murgatroyd when she gets home from work. We're having stuffed peppers this evening. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. And if you haven't already done so, this might be a good time to consider liking and subscribing. You know it makes sense. Oh, unbelievable. Didn't even look. Oh, and one more thing. Shout out to Slobo Lobo. Thanks for the mention in your recent film, and I don't mention capitalism and the necessity of its overthrow in every film, not by any stretch, but it did make me smile.